up, Nat? Beyond belief. Good to see you, William and Ali. Good to see you too, man. Right? Let's draw some common sense out of these students. That's funny because that's the question for today too. Do you trust your common sense? I'll show the setup right now, and actually I'll just show it right now. Might as well. Actually, there's some students passing by. Let them pass by. I can show the setup. Alright, let me just show you guys the setup real quick. Alright, so this is what the setup looks like. Here, I'm at the intersection on USC. It's McClinton. I don't know if you guys can see the street right there. And Jefferson. McClinton and Jefferson right there. So this is one of the busiest intersections here at the university. So there should be a lot of foot traffic here. So hopefully we could get a conversation today. So that's the table right there. So yeah, a lot of students walk in and out from this facility here, these buildings. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Oh, it's USC Village here. There we go. So yeah, again, a lot of students. If anything, nothing but students crossing this intersection right here. Yeah, so that's what it looks like. Alright. I guess I could start by showing my last video of the experiment, just to prove a point. I'm gonna have to add it. Damn it! Let's go. Which one is it? This one. What? Oh no! I can't even show it. Damn it. I forgot I can't show the videos here if they're in 4K, and I forgot to export it in a slower resolution. Well, that sucks. Damn it. I could show it on my other phone probably. I'll probably do that. It's a short video anyway. So is all dirty of all days. Damn. No. Alright, it's no big deal. Fuck it. I'll just show it right here. Hopefully the audio is good. Oh no, right there.
A simple accelerometer is a container with air and water, because solids, liquids, and gas will always displace under conditions of acceleration or when there is a force present. The water will always appear to move towards the back of the container and push the air towards the front. In other words, the air will always get pushed in the direction of acceleration 100% of the time. When we're observing objects appear to move in a particular direction, vision alone is not a physical measurement of acceleration. For example, when I have a ruler going through a box, whether I move the box or whether I move the ruler is always going to appear to move because the camera is connected to the box. Unless we can observe it from the outside, the ruler will always appear to move. However, if I was to attach a simple accelerometer to the ruler, then we will know if the ruler moving or the reference frame without having to observe it from the outside. Which ruler you bet is the one accelerating, 1 or 2? So when we're talking about downwards acceleration, which bottle will you bet is the one accelerating, 1 or 2?
Alright. So, what that test basically proves is for all the trolls that are saying that the only way to know if the Earth is in motion is to see it from the outside or to be outside of the Earth. What we can clearly see there is that we don't need to be outside of the reference frame to know if something's moving. Because again, accelerometers detect acceleration. So when somebody claims when you're holding an object like this, and you know, technically it's at rest. Damn, there might be a lot of that here in LA, right? But hopefully not. But yeah, again, accelerometers detect acceleration, and a simple accelerometer, it's a container filled with fluid, aka water and air. Because fluids flow under conditions of acceleration, they reorientate. You know, they don't have a form. That's why fluids require containment. So the air pressure that we have here, it requires containment because fluids require containment. You know, especially if they want to undergo pressure. In order for fluids to undergo pressure, they require containment and motion. Those are the two requirements. I mean, measurable, testable, and repeatable. You know. So again, when somebody claims that when you're holding an object and you let it goes from being at rest to accelerating. So that's an acceleration that should be detected, which is by accelerometers. Again, when I show the water bottle, obviously the one I actually accelerate detects the acceleration because the water has inertia. And that's another thing about inertia. This is where they double speak, right? You know how with gravity, oh, it's not a force, but it is a force, you know, and all this bullshit. So when it comes to inertia, they do the same thing. They double speak. They basically contradict the very definition of what inertia means. So inertia simply means an object wants to remain motionless. It wants to remain, you know, motionless. I mean, because matter doesn't move on its own. So technically, inertia means an object wants to remain motionless. So when people claim that, oh, things fall because of their inertia, well, that doesn't make any sense because technically, if I'm holding it, technically, it's motionless right now. So if I release it, why doesn't it want to stay motionless, right? Because again, it's not accelerating, obviously. And then it is in a state of inertia, but it's simply slowing down. Because before it becomes motionless, it has to slow down. Again, if you're going 100 miles an hour, you can't slow down to 0 in an instant. You need to slow down before you get to 0. So that's what's happening. Because of this phone's inertia, it basically simply slows down as soon as you release the force. It starts to slow down. And then you have a bunch of trolls. Hey, so you guys want to give this a shot?
Yeah.
So the first question, do you guys trust your common sense?
I think so.
I mean, you should, right? So it keeps you alive every day, right?
Yeah.
So they actually, very simple. So when we have air and water in a container like this and it's at rest, the water will always be in the bottom and always push the air to the top. regardless of the orientation.
Yeah.
You know, water's always in the bottom
Yeah.
and air's always on top. Simple fact. I cannot change that. Right? It's physics. You could say.
Kind of spilling on your face.
Oh, it's like so again, so I took 3 different pictures of my water bottle with water halfway filled, but I painted the water blue just to make it easier.
Okay.
So how I'm showing you these 3 water bottles, which one is in the correct orientation?
2? That's this one.
Okay, what did you say number 2?
Because the water is blue and it's at the bottom.
Right? And it pushes anything that's less dense to the top, right? Yeah, exactly. So you actually got it. So you said number 1. Why did you pick number 1, if I may ask?
Because I figured that this was the bottom.
Okay.
I figured you were just upside down.
Okay.
Because I thought the styrofoam.
Oh, okay. So what would be the correct orientation for this one, in your opinion?
I thought it was like this.
Okay. You got it.
Okay.
So the question was, which one is in the correct orientation, not in the incorrect?
Yeah.
So this one's obviously in the incorrect orientation as well.
Right.
So what would be the correct orientation for this one? Can you turn it in the correct orientation? You got it. So how did you guys know that one was that one and that one was that one? So obviously the water shows you that, right? It's pretty self-evident. Would you guys agree, right?
Okay.
Right. So the second question is actually even easier. So you guys got the first one. So another thing about water.
But we said different answers.
But you got it, I guess. It was number 2, the one that was in the correct orientation. And the whole point is that you know what the orientation of the bottle based on the water.
Okay.
So that was the whole point of this, to understand how water behaves, basically, when it's contained and at rest. So another thing about water, when it's contained and at rest, it always finds its level. Have you guys ever heard of that? Water always finds its level?
Okay.
Yeah, what would be another word for level? Like once the water's at rest,
Oh, okay.
right? What could be another word for level? Or what would be your definition of level?
I have no idea.
So the one word definition for level will be horizontal,
Okay.
right? Because if we have a slope, it's not level, right? It has to be a horizontal straight line. And that's what level means, and water shows us that, you know, because that's one of the properties of behaves. Which one of these 2 represents level as we know it, A or B? Okay, that was fast. Do you agree with her?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the real reason I do this is because over 95% of the population have been tricked to believing this is what level means, even though we know it's this one. You guys want to know how we were tricked?
Yeah, Thomas.
Do you guys believe the Earth is a ball?
Okay.
Do you guys believe the Earth is a ball?
Yeah.
So this is an official NASA image from 2012,
Okay.
and they admit they don't take real photographs of the Earth. So all the images they show us from outer space are all CGI. So why do you think NASA or any other space agency can't produce any photographs of the Earth as a ball? Well, if I was to ask you, why do you think?
Could you repeat the question? Why
So
don't they
why do you think NASA cannot produce real photographs of the Earth as a ball? Why do you think they can't produce it?
They don't have the technology?
You don't have the technology? You don't think they could go high enough?
Maybe. I don't really understand.
No, so basically, NASA, they claim to have satellites orbiting the Earth, right?
Okay.
So they need to know the radius of the Earth if they're supposedly going around it, right? So they do tell us the radius of the Earth is 3,959 miles, which gives us a circumference of 24,901, which means there has to be curvature every mile, and every mile it has to increase based on the radius they're telling us. So in the first mile is an 8-inch drop, second mile 32 inches, and by the third mile there should be 6 feet of curvature. So if we went out to a giant body of water like a lake to measure the surface of the water to see if it actually bends, the physics of water is going to show us that it's going to be parallel to anything horizontal above it, because the surface doesn't have the ability to bend. So, but they're trying to tell us that every lake on Earth is bending 6 feet in 3 miles and increasing more and more every given mile. So in 10 miles, they're telling us that there's a 66-foot drop. But, yeah.
So you're saying the Earth is flat?
No. So this will be the #1 experiment to debunk the globe, but the Earth is a level plane. It's not flat. So,
Are you making a video?
Oh, I am recording, definitely. Yeah.
But like, is it going to be on YouTube?
It might be. It depends on the conversation, if it's a good conversation or not.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So again, this will be the #1 experiment to debunk the globe, a physical measurement of the Earth, water in specific. So if I was to ask you guys, what's the #1 proof that makes you believe that the Earth is a ball?
Well, I'm not actually believe science.
You believe science? Okay.
I mean, I have faith in science too, but I actually don't know, like, the scientific reasoning for this. I just have faith that, like, a lot of college-educated scientists believe that the Earth is round.
Okay. So I would say having faith in science is a contradiction, because science is the method to prove things. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
I wouldn't
So
say
to
I
have
have-
faith in
Oh,
science,
yeah,
I would
I'm
say.
not speaking for her. I'm speaking for myself.
No, I mean both of you say you guys just believe in the science,
No,
right?
I don't. It's not faith. I have like trust.
I always say that's tomato.
I don't think they're the same thing. You know?
Well, again, science should be observable, measurable, testable, and repeatable.
It
so
is, yeah.
Exactly. So if you have trust, then you didn't do it yourself. You're just taking someone's word for it, right?
No, but like
Understand
I
the
have
basic principles of water.
Yeah, 10-year-old smarter than us. So.
Maybe then, if you guys
I
doubt your
think
common
we're
sense
gonna-
that
I
much,
think we're
then
gonna
I
get
guess.
No, I think common sense is trusting science.
Really? You think so? So let's say somebody tells you that a square is actually a circle. Would you believe that they're telling you the truth, or would you go with your common sense that a circle is a circle? I mean, common sense is pretty self-evident. Is my point. So, for example, steel and wood, what's stronger? What has more resistance?
Okay.
Steel, right? Do you have to believe someone to know that? No, you could test it for yourself. You can apply weight on a piece of 2x4 of wood and do the same thing on a 2x4 piece of steel, and you prove that steel is stronger than wood. So again, when we're talking about the physics of water, water has physical properties. So can I walk on water?
No.
What if I showed you a really good video of me walking on water? Would you believe I can do it?
But the reason that
Sure.
water does this is because of gravity.
Okay, I'm glad you brought up gravity. So first of all, do you guys do you guys know that gravity is just a theory, right? Or do you guys believe it's been proven?
I do believe it's been proven. Because here's
How did
my
they prove
question. What do you think of the sun? If
No,
you
no,
don't
no.
believe in gravity.
Okay, so gravity. Okay, let's go back to gravity. So what is gravity? Before we get into gravity, let's define gravity real quick.
Masses are attracted to masses.
Okay, would you say gravity is a force?
Yes.
Okay, so Einstein actually says it's not a force anymore. So Newton said it was a force, and Einstein said it wasn't a force.
Again,
So
I study movies.
okay, I understand, but again, this is very simple stuff. So if just very very quick, what is a force?
It's like a push or a pull.
I'm glad you said push and pull, but like only one of those is actually real. Which one do you think?
Wait, do you think push is like not real?
No,
Pull
push.
is not real?
Pull is not real.
It's
So
not
when
real.
it comes to
What do you-
objects,
like,
in order to move any object, you need to push it. So even combustion engines, anything that has motion, something else needs to push it. So the only force that exists is push. So again, when they claim gravity is a pulling force, that defies physics. So again, the Earth is not pulling objects towards it. The Earth is pushing up against everything else. So the Earth is pushing up against you. It's not pulling you down.
how come I can't fly then?
What do you mean?
How come I can't fly? Earth is like pushing.
Because of your inertia, your body wants to remain where it's at.
If I jump, why don't I just keep going?
Yeah, because of inertia, because of air resistance.
No.
Not air resistance, but put it this way.
If I jump, why can't I fly?
Because the
there's
Earth-
no pull.
Because you lose momentum. So when you throw something across the way,
Yeah.
it loses momentum. So when you jump, you actually accelerate for a second, but then you start to
But
lose momentum,
If
and the
I-
Earth catches up to you.
Inertia,
Yeah.
then
So inertia,
I'm at movement, so I want to stay at movement.
So exactly. So in my opinion, they mix a lot of truth with lies. So the claim that inertia is an object wants to remain in motion contradicts the fact that an object wants to remain at rest. So it can only be one, and it's the object wants to remain at rest, meaning motionless. So when the fact that they throw the second part in there, that object will stay in motion while it's in motion forever, that's just bullshit, to be honest with you. That cannot be recreated nor repeated. Everything that has motion eventually slows down.
It is
If there's no
recreated
force.
in a vacuum.
I'm sorry?
In a vacuum, it is recreated.
No, when they recreated, you're talking about the bowling ball and feather experiment when they suck the air out of the vacuum and they both.
In a vacuum, objects like that are moving will stay moving. Like that's why the moon.
Well, first of all, you will have to isolate yourself out of the Earth because obviously the force of the Earth, the motion of the Earth is always gonna be in the way. So that experiment can
Wait,
never.
the
What I would say is a push. Gravity is a push. It's not a pull. It's the Earth
Okay,
pushing
but
up against
If
you
it's pushing up, why don't more things like float?
because of their inertia. They want to remain motionless. So your resistance is your weight.
Throw something in the air. Why does it keep going?
Well, because it loses momentum. So like
Why
when
wouldn't it just stay in the
if the
sky?
Earth was motionless, then yeah, you would stay up, but the Earth catches up to you. Basically.
The Earth moves up.
Yes,
So
that's
the Earth
the
is-
only way
the
to
Earth
push.
is flat, but it's
No,
always
no.
moving up.
It's not flat. So flat has nothing to do with orientation. I could have a flat wall. Is it level? Is a flat wall level?
Okay, so
Earth is a wall.
So
No.
you're saying it's
Earth
like-
is level. And it's level because it has
The
orientation.
Earth is not round.
It's not a ball. It's a level plane, and the reason why it's level is because it has orientation. And in order for something to have
What's the difference
orientation,
between level
So are you
and
saying-
flat?
I'm explaining it.
Can I
The,
ask something? Are you
the only
saying it's 2D?
no. The surface is a 3D surface, but it's a level surface.
But if it's
So
feel like that's
level, look, in order for something to have orientation, it needs to have motion. So if something doesn't have motion, it doesn't have direction, so it doesn't have orientation.
Okay.
The Earth does have orientation.
I think we can fix
Okay.
I mean, I'm not trying to convince anyone, just trying to spark some thought, you know.
it.
But
No, I really like your ideas.
okay. I would say my ideas are backed by physics, though. They're not just ideas. Exactly. I would say it's just reality. I'm just representing reality.
No, I feel like I'm a changed person. No, like actually. Thank you.
Right. Okay. You guys have any questions
Good luck
before you
on
go?
your video.
No questions for me?
No, I would like to talk about this more, but I have a busy schedule.
Here you go. Here's my channel. If you do really want to talk about it, my email's on there.
Oh,
And
I appreciate it.
I go to other universities too.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
Thank you for
yeah,
coming to USC.
yeah, no problem. That was a little sarcastic there, right? I could catch sarcasm a mile away. By the way, so I'm a changed person now. That's cool. If they see the video after, that'd be cool. I'm a changed person now. Wow, you convinced me. Wow, you're trolling. I mean, nothing personal, you know. I'm just, you know, just trolling back, you know. I know people start getting mad and shit, like, just trolling, man. Nothing, not that big of a deal. Now, when you're trolling, misrepresenting, that's when it could get ugly, right? So I guess they don't trust their common sense, you know. So. Oh, by the way, I switched the orientation question a bit. Again, for the third time. Hopefully this is the last time. So this is what they're gonna look like. And again, I redid them because a lot of people will focus on the pressure of my finger, right? They'll look at other stuff that didn't make any sense, right? To tell orientation. I mean, it does. But when you're looking at water, you know, the waters were showing you, you know, beyond a shadow of a doubt. So when people are looking at the finger, it just throws away the main reason why I asked the question. So this is what it's going to look like now. This is going to be number 1. So I basically put them inside a box. 2. So there's no more hand. It's just the bottle. It's just the next one. So that's pretty much it. Things a little bit better, but we'll see. This was a you should have seen, right? The girl on the left. As soon as I brought the globe Earth picture, she like basically held her laugh. Like if she's in the video, you'll see it. Right off the back, I already knew. She got serious after I explained the physics behind it. She got a little bit serious. But again, the three stages of truth is ridicule, right? Violently oppose, and then you accept it as self-evident. So those are the 3 stages of coming to the truth. So obviously, this was probably one of the first interactions about this subject with anyone. So ridicule came off the bat. You know, a lot of people that I speak to, they don't even ridicule this anymore because a lot of people have heard about this. Maybe they've heard some proofs, right, that make sense to them or something like that along the line. So a lot of people don't really like ridicule it off the bat, even though they might still. They don't really express it. So, hey, what's up, man? Yeah, they don't really express it. So yeah, I mean, this was a unique experience for sure. So yeah, we got ultimate ridicule, and then I mean, you could say the sarcasm was kind of ridiculing too a bit, right? So yeah, obviously they're on their way there, you know. That was cool though. I kind of like, I'm a little rusty, I'm not gonna lie, you know. So again, inertia. Again, people don't realize that they mix truth with lies. So again, when it comes to inertia, an object in motion will always stay in motion. Okay, maybe when there's no forces or complete vacuum, we don't live in a vacuum, first of all. So again, for all the trolls that say, oh, deceleration, it causes displacement when I accelerate in my car, blah, 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 blah. First of all, when you're accelerating in a car and you brake, you're applying a force. So of course, that force is going to cause a displacement while you're decelerating because you're using a force to decelerate. So again, anybody trying to use an example of like, oh, when I brake going in an airplane or in a car or in a train, when the train brake anything, there's always going to be a force present, air resistance, or if you apply the brakes or whatever, there's always going to be a force causing a slight displacement, you know, when you accelerate. But when you release an object in free fall, there is no displacement because there is no forces acting on it to slow it down. Now, I'm not saying that there's no cause that causes the deceleration. There's definitely a cause. So what that cause is, that causes all matter to decelerate all at the same rate, I don't know. I simply don't know. But if I had to like theorize or speculate, you know, I'm pretty sure it has to do with some kind of background medium, maybe the electric magnetic field, maybe electrostatics. I mean, it's in the name static, right? And if electrostatics affects matter, again, not accelerate, it just affects matter, then that could be the reason why things decelerate all at the same rate. So you could imagine or try to visualize whatever background medium that decelerates everything, kind of like a net. You know, you could imagine it like a net or like a web, right? It's just there in the background, right? So when you're applying a force and you release that force, well, guess what? That net that's there, or the web, whatever you want to imagine, this, you know, background medium is going to slow down all matter at the same rate. You know, that's, again, I'm not saying that's exactly what's happening, you know, but based on our experiments, we can assume that something like that most likely is happening. So there is, in my opinion, there probably is a cost to why all matter decelerates at the same rate. And again, it could be a background medium that basically acts like a web or a net, you know, that's just there, that wants to keep matter motionless. Again, I'm not saying that 100%. For all we know, matter inherently wants to remain motionless as well. That could be another theory, I guess you could say, right? That matter just wants to remain motionless. You know, that's part of its inertia, that it wants to remain motionless. Now, people claiming that, inertia means that it wants to stay in motion. Well, then that contradicts that it wants to remain motionless. So only one of those two could be real, and obviously the one that we can test and repeat, that matter wants to remain motionless. So again, when people say things fall because they have inertia, yeah, because they're slowing down, because they want to remain motionless. That's why things fall, because of their inertia. You know, again, them trying to flip the definitions or add new definitions to what we already know and what we can already test, that's just bullshit. You know, and we know the mainstream misses a lot of truth with lies. Again, with gravity, it's a push, but it's also a pull. Like, wait, that defies physics. There's no such thing as a pulling force. Something that just, an object that pulls another object because of its mass. So just because you have mass, so apparently mass alone is a force. Like, what? How can mass alone be a force? That doesn't make any sense, but apparently that's what people believe now, that mass is a force and it pulls things towards it. Like, you know, even though the mainstream Einstein's theory of relativity already disproved that, you know, because mass doesn't attract mass. Objects don't accelerate down, and that could be proven. Again, very simple. Here, which one am I actually accelerating down? You know, the one on the left or the one on the right? Obviously the one I'm actually accelerating is the one that's showing the displacement. Again, the one on the right, because I'm accelerating it, the water again, it wants to remain where it's at. Because I'm accelerating it, you could see that displacement, you know. In this other one, not only does the water want to remain where it's at, but the bottle and the air also want to remain where it's at. So when I release the whole thing without accelerating, everything has inertia now. So again, on the left, everything has inertia, and on the right, only the water has inertia. Well, and the air too, because it's being pushed. But again, the air has to be pushed by the bottle first. So again, left is what inertia is, right is what acceleration is. So again, you can't say the right one is inertia too. I mean, that's stupid, obviously. And again, another thing about inertia is that it's a constant motion. So it's not an acceleration. So when you release an object, you can't say inertia because it's an acceleration as well. So even by your own added definition, that's bullshit. An object in motion will always stay in motion. It even defies that because it's an acceleration we witness down. you know, or an apparent acceleration. So technically, you cannot be using this word of inertia when it comes to free-falling objects if you mean constant motion. Now, if you mean deceleration or losing its momentum, then yeah, we could say inertia, you know? So again, when people talk about inertia, I'm gonna have to be specific. They're gonna have to be specific about what they mean. Do you mean constant motion, or do you mean deceleration, I guess, right? Because apparently it's motionless or constant motion. Not they never talk about deceleration, which is weird, you know, but you know, that should say a lot right there. I know the helicopter's just chilling up there. Base truther, hey William, would there be acceleration on the space if you drop a water bottle from a greater height? I haven't done it. Dell has done it from a higher height. Well, Andrew has done it from a higher height, I believe, from like the second story. And nope, in my opinion, there wouldn't be any displacement if you dropped it from higher. There'll be a bigger impact when the Earth makes contact with the Earth, or Earth makes contact with it, you know, but that's it. During the 2 seconds of drop, you won't see any displacement, in my opinion. And again, if you believe that there is going to be displacement at a higher height, or say like 10 stories or even 5 stories high or whatever, then you should recreate that experiment, you know, for whoever, not just you, you know, just in general, anybody that's skeptical about the displacement in free fall. If you believe that there would be displacement at higher elevations, well then where's your demonstration of that, right? Again, if you don't have a demonstration of your claims, then it can't be taken serious, you know, that simple. So it's literally that simple. Literally would say, I just have faith in science. And it's like what? First of all, science is not like a person, so I'm assuming they have faith in the studies, but then you ask, okay, what science, right? What studies do you have faith in? Because if it's a real study, not even a study, a demonstration, because again, studies could be altered, a practical demonstration. If you trust the practical demonstrations, then you don't have to trust the practical demonstration, you just have to understand it. So the correct term to say is, I understand science, not I have faith, or I trust, or I believe in science. No, if you truly mean what you want to say, is you understand science. If you truly understand science, then you would say you understand science. You wouldn't say you trust or believe. And again, that just falls into religion, because again, all religion followers just have to have faith and believe in the religion's teachings. You know what I'm saying? So it's no different than the globe earth. The globe earth is just religious teachings, and the reason why they're religious is because they can't be physically proven. Just like any other religion that makes claims about this reality that cannot be physically proven, you know, are bullshit. So that's why, you know, it just falls into religion. So again, when it comes to the globe earth, people don't like to think that they're part of a religion, you know, but yeah, it is. So the difference between the globe earth though and the globe earth religion and any other religion is that every other religion at least admits that it's faith-based. So Christianity, Buddhism, you know, whatever, the Hinduism, you know, I'm not too big on Islam, you know, all these religions, whatever religion people follow, they at least admit that it's faith-based. So they admit that they can't physically prove their claims, and you just have to have faith. However, the globe earth religion, they claim they do have physical proof and practical demonstrations of their claims, but they don't. So the globe earth religion, priests are the fucking liars, more than religious people. And even though religious priests and all that are liars themselves, globe earth priests or scientists, right, that push the globe earth are bigger liars than any other religion. because they're claiming something is real when it's actually not. You know, again, it goes back to at least other religions that admit that it's faith-based. They don't go all around saying that they've proven things in physical reality, you know. So, yeah, that's where the globe earth, you know, in my opinion, needs to be exposed, you know, because people actually believe it's real, you know, like physically, you know what I'm saying? And that's where it's crazy, you know. So yeah, it's just an idea, and it only exists on paper. Literally, like every other religion, it only exists on paper, you know. And the thing about religions is that they're mostly subjective. They're not even objective. Christianity, you know, all these religions are subjective books. They're not objective books. So they're not there to prove, you know, the physical properties of matter, or to show the physical properties of matter, you know. That's simple. Yeah, the parking here, the meter's only 2 hours, so I might cut it a little short today, but we'll see. Because I don't think I'll be able to get up. I mean, unless I take my camera and my backpack and go put time real quick and then come back. It'll probably take me like 5 minutes, but it's a little risky. You know, I doubt anybody will take the table, but you never know, you know. Alright, let me read some of the comments, see if anybody has any questions. I'm gonna go to... I'm gonna try to scroll back a bit. Pat Mustard, get the camera on them as well as you, William. I do. If you watch the edited version of my live streams, I basically put both camera angles. Pat Mustard again. Would be nice to see an action again. Pat Mustard, if you're still seeing this, the edited version of these videos shows both perspectives. So it shows the persons I'm talking to, and then it shows me as well. So. It will be interesting to see what occurs if a bottle has a time and distance to reach terminal velocity beyond belief. I know, like, for it to, I'm assuming you mean like for it to come to be completely motionless, right? I know, I was thinking about that the other day, like it's gonna need it, you know, because the air is obviously slowing down that deceleration. So how much time does it actually need, right, to decelerate to 0, right? So it's technically just floating, right? So yeah, who knows? Who knows? And how will we know when it's completely motionless, right? Because it's going to be a constant deceleration all the way. I mean, it's crazy to think. I mean, you would think like maybe it's like decelerating, and then out of nowhere, like it wobbles maybe because it has no more upward momentum. So the air pushing up on it maybe moves it after that. Like, I don't. Yeah, that's a pretty good question. I have no idea. Max Reese. He has a camera on there. Which way? What's with the ghetto birds in the air? I know there must have been like a crime here somewhere right now, or in the area. There's been a lot of crime here in California, in SoCal especially. Like almost every day, there's like news of somebody getting killed, getting stabbed. Like it's crazy, you know. It's pretty crazy out here, man. Yeah, just another day. Execrate inertia, it wants to be motionless. Hey, inertia has to be constantly overcome. Huh? Basically, in a way. That's why, you know, there's a constant acceleration, right? Because of the constant change of direction. So maybe that's the only way, you know, to have motion is through a constant acceleration. But again, you don't have to be in infinite space. You could just be constantly changing direction, creating a constant acceleration while remaining in a constant speed. So again, that would still, you know, inertia would still be a thing of deceleration in that sense. So an object in motion stays in motion, yet leave out the bit that an object at rest is also in motion. So remaining at rest or remaining in motion are the same. Exactly, in a way, you know. Like, again, they just try to change the definitions, add more to the definitions, and just basically word salad people after that, you know. Again, they don't like simplicity. They don't like simple practical demonstrations and simple language to match it, because then it's going to be very easy to understand. So they have to overcomplicate the definitions and change the definitions so that people can grasp it, right? And again, because people have this idea of trusting authority, they'll literally trust authority over their own common sense, literally. So there's literally no independent thought anymore. So that's pretty scary if you think about it. Like individuals, grown individuals that don't trust their common sense and don't trust authority, you know, over their common sense. Like, that's pretty scary, you know, if you think about it. Why would there be a greater impact, base truther? Why would there be a greater impact? Is it because the object's accelerating down or the Earth's movement? It's because of the Earth's movement. And the reason why, again, if you have a car going like this, 100 miles an hour, right? And you have another car in front of it going 100 miles an hour, and there's only 1 second of space between them. Only 1 second, right? And let's say the car decelerates at 10 miles per second. Again, this is just for this scenario. When the car in front, when you're moving, right? In the car in front, again, you're only 1 second apart, decelerates. It's what's going to happen. The car in the back is going to hit it, right? It's going to make an impact. But guess what? It only got to decelerate to 90 miles an hour in that 1 second. So the impact, it's only going to be a 10 mile an hour difference. So it's going to be a very small impact, 10 mile an hour. Now let's say there was a 2 second gap, right? Now there's a 2 second gap. Now the front car decelerates. It's going to hit it at going 20 second difference, because there was a 2 second delay. Now this car in the front is not going 90 anymore when it makes an impact. It's going 80. So the 100 mile an hour car hits it at 20 miles impact. So increasing the distance between them is going to increase the impact, because it has more time to decelerate. So let's say they're 5 seconds apart. Guess how much it's going to decelerate? If it's 10 seconds, if it's 10 miles per second, it's going to decelerate to 50 miles an hour. So the car in the back is going to hit it at 50 mile an hour impact. Now let's say the car in the front had enough time to decelerate to 0, so 10 second gap, this is gonna hit it at full impact. It's gonna hit it at 100 miles an hour. It's gonna hit it at full impact. So the further away they are, the more time it has to decelerate, the higher the impact. So when we're talking about free falling objects, it's the same principles. The higher you drop an object, the more time it has to decelerate, and the more impact the Earth is going to make when it hits it, because there's going to be a bigger difference in both of those speeds. But not because the Earth is accelerating, but because the object drop is decelerating. So that's where the change in speed is. And that's why there's a bigger impact, because the Earth is at a constant, but the thing being dropped is decelerating. So the more time it has to decelerate, the more impact there's going to be from the Earth, because the more of a difference in speed based on the deceleration. So it's literally that simple. I might have to make a video on that to try to simplify what I just said, just in a very short video, and obviously trying to use some practical demonstrations of the impact in a different direction other than free fall, to prove and show that, again, the object in front losing momentum is going to appear to accelerate towards the object behind it. You know, so again, when you release an object, that's technically in front of the motion, and then the Earth technically is behind it, catching up to it. So again, it just has to do with orientation. You change the motion like this to like this now. You know, and it's literally the same physics. The physics doesn't change just because you change orientation. What the fuck? Is that what people think, that physics changes when you change orientation? Like the physics of matter? Like, like, I mean, if people believe that, that's up to them, but it's kind of funny. Kind of ridiculous too. Okay, so Mr. Mojo, they think science is a religion. Yeah. But science, the irony though, science was there to debunk religious claims. You know what I'm saying? Because again, religion just doesn't have to be a part of a book. Anyone could start a religion. Somebody could just make up beliefs about this reality, and they could literally ingrain themselves in these beliefs. You know, for example, Santa Claus, believing in Santa Claus, right? They say an adult believes in Santa Claus. You could say that's his religion. You know, he believes in this Santa Claus that alleviates his stress once a year, right? If you behave good and stuff like that. You could say that's a religion, you know? But again, it could be anything. People that believe in Bigfoot, you know, and all this bullshit, that's a religion too. You know, any claims about this reality or any beliefs you have about this reality that contradict physics is technically a religion because it's faith-based. It's a belief system. It's not real, you know. So again, I go with what I can practically prove to myself and what reality shows me, basically, because that's what I can prove to myself. You know, not what people are telling me. So. Max means often people don't even know what the words they use mean. I know, they don't understand a lot of the definitions of the words they use, that's true. And that's where people, again, they've had the number done on them already, you know? So they're already in this state of mind where they don't have critical thinking, right? It's just feed me information. Well, what's the answer to this? And what's the answer to that? And what's the answer to that? It's like basically, it's like schools, it's like Google basically. Schools teach like how Google does. It just gives you an answer. There's nothing practical, nothing logical. There's no common sense to how they got to this answer. You know, it's just you Google it and it tells you the answer, right? That's exactly how schools teach nowadays. They just give you an answer and you just have to accept it. You know, and that's why people, you know, are where they're at right now. You know? And that's where society is where it's at right now. You know, there's no independent thinkers anymore. You know, it's crazy. Man, I didn't think it was gonna be this hectic out here. Crazy. The unbalanced force is the disconnect from the constant reference frame. That's right, actually crazy. Earthship Bear greets from off-grid in beautiful BC China. We're good to see you, Earthship Bear. Mr. Mojo, I know, I wish I could tell that helicopter to fuck off, but nah. It's truth. Yeah, it's the Earth's constant motion. Pat Mustard just subscribed to your channel, William. I'm new. Thanks for the feedback, friend. Oh, yeah, no worries, Pat. Again, you have any questions, just ask them. Hopefully I could get to them or anyone else in the chat. And again, my email's here as well, so if you want to send me an email, if you have any questions, go ahead and do that. What's up, Andrew? Okay, I don't mean to sound like a dumbass, but what's the best proof of objects don't accelerate down? Base truth, the best proof that objects don't accelerate down is the fact that buoyancy is the effect of the medium pushing that buoyant object in the direction of the force. So the water, the air bubble in water shows you when there's pressure in the water, but not only that, it shows you the direction the pressure is being applied. So right here in this scenario, the pressure is being applied down. So you can't apply pressure within a medium like water in two directions at once. That's retarded. I'm sorry, but that's fucking retarded. But in this scenario, the pressure is being applied down because that's what buoyancy, the buoyant effect of the air bubble is showing us. It's undergoing pressure and it's in the down direction relative to the bottom, you know? So again, the fact that there's no acceleration in free fall, we can prove that. Okay, this one's at acceleration down. And this is free fall. So we see the air bubble showing us the direction of travel while I'm holding it, and as soon as I release it, you could see the air bubble doesn't get pushed. There's no pressure basically. There's literally no pressure. While I'm holding the bottle, the direction of the pressure is up because that's the air bubbles being pushed up. So that's while I'm holding the bottle. As soon as I release the bottle, that pressure vanishes. Again, you can't have acceleration without pressure. So that's what proves to us that it's not accelerating down. it's air and water. A simple accelerometer will show that there's no force in the downwards direction. So hopefully, I mean, if you're having a hard time understanding that, then I'm hoping that it's just gonna take some time. But to be honest, I mean, it cannot be explained any simpler than that, or shown any simpler than that. I mean, yeah. Constant resistance to the motion, also inertia. As the motion is overcoming an object's constant resistance, inertia, we can get a constant measure of that resistance. Weight, exactly. Yeah, again, you could say things have weight because of their inertia, because they want to remain where they're at. You know, objects don't want to go in any direction. Again, matter doesn't have a force within it. Like you could say, like our bodies have inertia. Our human bodies have inertia. But we have a life force, your will, you know, that can move your body. So when you're moving your body, you're not in a state of inertia because you're moving, especially that part of the body. So this, you know, but your body does want to remain motion. Again, when you move your body, you can feel the weight of your arms too. Again, because your body is in an inertia state of frame. It wants to remain motionless, your body. So it requires an inner force, your life force. So that's what moves your body. So you're gonna tell me that matter has like a life force like we do? Like all animals do, and it moves in the downwards direction all the time? Like, like that's literally what you have to be believing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just retarded when you look at it like in that sense, or in the sense of AI. So now you have to believe that water somehow AI and is able to push things down and up simultaneously. Like, again, that just like so water has pressure. It has pressure being applied down and up. Like, is that what people believe when they're talking about a motionless Earth? Like yeah, that's pretty crazy. So yeah, your inertia is what gives you your weight. So hold your arm up like this. Hold it for 20 minutes like this, because of your body's inertia, the inertia of your arm. It's gonna fucking hurt. It's gonna start to hurt to hold it up. Like your muscles are gonna feel the resistance, you know, of you holding, you applying this force up. You know, your muscles are gonna start to feel that resistance again because of the inertia that your body has, that it wants to remain motionless, you know. So again, people trying to just change the definitions and try to say that inertia means an object wants to stay in motion, because they knew this conversation was going to come up of the Earth pushing up on you. Seen that girl? Or if I jump, I should continue to go up. Like, what the fuck? Like, I can't believe people believe that shit. Like, oh, it says in a book that an object in motion always stays in motion. So if the Earth is in motion, I should be able to jump and just fly to the sky. Like, come on. Like, I mean, I don't mean to like talk shit or anything, but come on, like, I don't know how else to respond to stuff like that, but ridicule it. I mean, like, where are you getting that from? A book? I mean, that's where that came from. That's where that claim came from, a book. It was never practically demonstrated. It was never practically proven. It has no scientific backing whatsoever, but yet people regurgitate it like a parrot. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, just highlights the fact that there's no critical thinking. You know, again, going back to the push and pull. You know, again, and it goes back to, because people are not showing things practically, they don't think about these things practically. so yeah. It's so simple. It is super simple. Super simple. So it should be pretty self-evident that any channel that has over like 50, 100,000 subscribers, right, and are not only not talking about the Earth's motion, but claiming that the Earth is motionless. I mean, are you being censored? I mean, you have over 100,000 subs, right? Like, how censored are you, right? I would say that within Flat Earth, there is a mainstream Flat Earth. So again, all these channels that grow out of nowhere within a year or two, or that have over 100,000 subscribers, and I would say that's the mainstream flat Earth, and people should stay away from that. You know, the mainstream flat Earth is keeping this whole shit static with their motionless flat Earth. It's literally the biggest lie on Earth, that people believe when you release an object that it accelerates down, when physics and all accelerometers shows us that that's a physical impossibility, you know, based on how substance behaves. So again, going back to water being level, again, water shows us that it cannot conform to the outside of a shape, you know, especially a sphere. You know, and water, because it's a fluid, needs to be contained by a physical container. Again, depending on the force of that container, if it's up, then the water's going to level out in that direction. You know, again, the water's going to be perpendicular to the direction of the force, and that's what makes water level. It's a force, it's motion. So again, water displaces relative to acceleration. So again, we could change the orientation of water when we add a horizontal acceleration to the already constant vertical. So again, water showing us its new direction will be at an angle. When you move something straight up, but then you add a horizontal movement to that upwards movement, then you're gonna get a diagonal, like in a graph. Like when you guys observe a graph, you know, if you go up and you go left at the same time, guess what you're gonna make? You're gonna make a diagonal. That's what will be going up and left at the same time, a diagonal. And water shows us that, a diagonal, when we add a horizontal acceleration. Because it has to already overcome the vertical. You know? And in order for it to be perpendicular to the horizontal, it has to completely overcome the vertical. So you have to, I don't know how fast you would have to accelerate to completely overcome that, but it just has to be a constant acceleration, basically. But yeah. Execray would like to chat with you sometime if that's possible, William, regarding some demons. Oh yeah, definitely. I know you've messaged me a couple of times. It's just that I've been kind of busy lately, you know, with family, work. You know, I can barely make time to do this, you know, and stuff like that. But definitely in the near future, we should set something up. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. So yeah, I'll message you definitely to set up a chat. Thanks for reaching out, by the way, though. Base truth, I'm a slow learner. That's cool. I mean, you know, not everybody's gonna get everything at the same time. You know, so everybody does learn at different speeds, you know, and different rates. So. Mr. Mojo, it sounds like I got 5 stars in GTA. I know, huh? I'm in a dead spot. They can't see me, huh? Dead spot. Andrew, is why we have muscles. I know. Literally, we have muscles. Literally, so that we are able to overcome our body's inertia. You know, we wouldn't have muscles if that wasn't the case. You know, we could just move in any direction. Nothing would have weight. If you think about it in a way, like, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Again, inertia will have, you know, you need inertia and you need a force, you know, to give you weight. You know, that's what it comes down to. Again, you could say inertia is, yeah, you could say when the force being applied, it's resisting, it's a resistance. And it can also be a deceleration. Again, inertia simply means there's no forces acting on it. That's what inertia means at the root. There are no forces acting on it. So that's the true definition of inertia. So when people say that, oh, an object in motion stays in motion, well, first of all, it had to require a force to do that. So again, it contradicts that part of the definition from the very start, because how did it get in motion? You know what I'm saying? So again, people are not thinking about, so an object's just in motion in space. Yeah, oh, from the Big Bang, huh? That's why they have the Big Bang explosion. So that put everything into motion. So everything's in inertia moving, even though inertia means motionless, but okay. Again, you have to take this fucking theory of the Big Bang to back up this other theory that objects are, you know, it's just fucking bullshit. It's crazy. G. Monk, do you ever run into religions on campuses? Like, I guess religious students, you mean? Yeah, there are students that are religious, and I have come across them. And again, nothing personal to anybody that's religious, but when it comes to like talking about religion, to me, I kind of think it's kind of a waste of time, and I'm gonna tell you why. Again, I don't think the Bibles are a waste of time. I just think that they're personal, subjective books that you should read on your own time, right? I get, you know, Bible groups and stuff like that. People want to share. That again is subjectivity. But when we're talking about objectivity, and then people come at me with, you know, teachings about the religion and try to like sway me into believing this book, like I just can't take it serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, if you want to have faith, if you want to have belief in your religion, that's fine. I won't judge you for it. You know, people can do whatever they want, they can believe whatever they want. But when we're talking about objectivity, it's just muddying the waters. You know what I'm saying? It's literally just there to muddy the waters. You know, so that's why, yeah, when I do come across those conversations, they kind of go longer than they should, because I don't want to be rude and cut them off, but I should cut them off. You know, because again, it goes nowhere. It's just beliefs about, oh, this guy did this so and so long ago, and oh no, he didn't do that. He did this based on this, what he said here, John 23. Oh no, but John 31 contradicts John 23. Blah 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 blah, and it's just funny. They're just battling verses that they don't even understand. Like, it's crazy. Again, same thing with the religion, the global earth religion. They're just battling statements that they don't even understand. That's no different than a verse that you don't understand. It's pretty crazy. A good one, beyond belief. Yes, William runs into people that believe in science all the time. Yeah, I mean, the global earth science, right? The biggest religion. I'm assuming he was talking about like Christians and stuff like that, right? Yeah, I know. I see a lot of table preachers. Like, I hate to say it, but they're trying to do something good, right? Like, I get it, the intent's there. You think you found truth and you're trying to share it with others. Again, goes back, you don't really understand what you're preaching, but I hate this. What I'm doing is the real version of that. This is sharing real truth. You know, so when religious people are out there, you know, with their table of truth, it's kind of funny in a way, you know, but again, I don't judge. I get what people are, you know, but yeah, it's like literally, you know, this will be the real version of that, basically. You know what I'm saying? It's real science, real physics, that can be demonstrated and repeated, you know. So yeah, they kind of give, you know, tables like this kind of a bad rap in a way. But I mean, off the bat, when you see tables like that, they usually have something to do with faith or God or something. So you know it's a religious booth, you know. So at least my table, you know, the question is, do you trust your common sense? So I think that's where, you know, it separates. You know, one has to do with common sense, and the other one has to do with faith and beliefs. You know, so to each their own, right? Mojo, yep. God speaks through nature, physics, not books, exactly. Because even if these books were real, people have to like, and this is where, like, fuck, man, people have like a childish mentality. It's like, how did they come up with these answers to write it down in the book? And it's like, oh, they literally just believe that God came to them in a dream once, right? Like these people that wrote the book, right, the Bible or whatever. People actually believe that, like, oh, God, you know, they seen God in a dream and told them to write all this stuff down, and it's like people actually believe that. Like, again, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I do think people actually do believe kind of like a story like that, you know. from some of the conversations that I've had. But like that's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Alright. Time, yeah, 1 hour and 6 minutes. And if I could get one more conversation, that would be so cool, but I mean, if not, one is better than nothing, right? Again, even if that first conversation I had, even if like it didn't, I mean, it did something regardless, you know, even if they ridiculed it and just laughed it off and you know, were sarcastic. At the end of the day, you know, when they're sitting alone, not doing anything, you know, it might come to them again. You know, I did give them my channel, so we'll see. The point being is even if nothing comes out of that conversation, right, at least it's good to highlight the behavior or like the psyche of the mind, you know, and what kind of how people respond to this subject, you know, in real life, basically, you know. So it's good in that aspect, you know. Even if nothing came out of it, you know, from their perspective, it's good to highlight it, you know, for others to see, you know, because at the end of the day, I mean, you ridicule it, but it doesn't change reality. You know, the irony behind, you know, the people that ridicule this subject is like, you know, the irony, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. The joke's on you, you know, that's the reality. And you're laughing at reality. Damn. Imagine a society that gets tricked into laughing at their own reality or ridiculing their own reality. Imagine a society like that that's been brainwashed to ridicule their own reality. Imagine that. Oh man. Apparently Trump is the Jews' Messiah. Look into that one. Why does it always go that route with the ones that ask if they're being recorded? I know. It's like it's like they get triggered that they're being recorded. So it's just like, yeah, I think that's just all it is. They get triggered, and you know, people are gonna act a little bit different after that, and yeah, that's just what we got. But it's crazy how when I asked them for a proof, though, they couldn't give one. So they just said they had faith. I am gonna have to find a shaded area in the future, because when summer's here, because right now it's like it's actually pretty cool, the weather right now. Oh, look at that, it's 67 right now. It's a pretty good weather. But in the summer it's gonna be in the 90s, you know. So if I want to come out here in the 90s, I cannot be out in the sun like this. So I'm gonna have to find some shade. So hopefully somewhere in the campus, like, you know, who knows? Who knows? We'll see though. Yeah. No, yeah, that's true, Imran. Simply because they're defending a position that it goes against reality. Yeah. Beyond belief. They know they're daft and don't want there being any evidence of it being shared around. No, I know. No, yeah, deep down inside, that's what it comes down to. It. Like, again, people admit it a lot of times. Like, oh, I mean, they even said they're not smarter than a 5th grader. Again, I would like to think they were trolling, but even then, you know, people do get triggered because they don't want there to be evidence of their ignorance. I don't know. I didn't want to say stupidity. But most people, yeah, that don't want to be recorded is usually because of that, or they're gonna do something they shouldn't. You know, that's usually the people that don't want to be recorded. They're gonna do something they shouldn't, or they don't want to look stupid. You know. But again, if you're being honest, if you're honest with yourself, you don't have to worry about looking stupid. You know what I'm saying? Just be honest. If you don't know something, just say you don't know. How can someone ridicule that when you admit you don't know? That should be praised, if anything, when people admit that they don't know something. Like, why would somebody ridicule that? It doesn't make any sense. Again, if anything, people, you praise that, because that's the first step, towards the right or the correct answer, right? It's admitting you don't know, So again, if people were honest, there's nothing to be afraid of, basically, And if people do ridicule for you not understand, for admitting you don't know or you don't understand, then that says a lot about the person ridiculing you for that. They're bullies, if anything. You know what I'm saying? So I usually don't ridicule anyone. I usually ridicule the claims. Again, nothing personal towards anyone, because I get it. But man, it's Debunk trust is an investment. You could say that kind of, right? Pride too. Again, people's ego at the end of the day too. They don't want to admit that they've been fooled, And again, all like, oh my God, you're gonna tell me every student here at USC is wrong, right? That's like another part of the belief, I would assume. Are you gonna tell me all my teachers, all my professors, every student here, everybody at NASA, all that, they're all lying? And it's like, no, only the astronauts are lying. Only the people that are going up there and claiming to see what they're seeing, those are the ones lying. So everybody else, below them, mission control, teachers, professors, students, everybody else just believes it. They never proved it to themselves. Again, you have these astronauts saying that they proved it to themselves, but how do you know they're not lying? You know how I know? Water. Again, the surface of water, once it's at rest, the surface will never hump. It's that simple. The surface of water doesn't bend. You cannot bend the surface of water. It's a fluid. It doesn't have a shape. That's why it's a fluid. Fluids don't have shapes. They require containment, and that's what gives it its apparent shape. It's a container. It takes the shape of the container, and water always levels out at the surface when at rest. So when you go to any lake on Earth, it could be 10 miles, 20 miles, doesn't matter the distance of the lake. When that lake is at rest, the surface is a perfectly level, straight, horizontal line. It's literally that simple. And you have all these fucking flat earth channels and global. But yeah, water is that simple to understand, that the surface doesn't bend. But then you have all these big channels, whether globe earth or flat earth, talking about other shit. Like making 2-3 hour long videos about other bullshit, opposed to focusing on the simple practical facts that debunk the globe, So why are they wasting time on all these other subjects? You know what I'm saying? Why are they hammering on this one proof so that people can drill it into their fucking head so that they can understand that water doesn't bend on the surface? Not only that, objects don't accelerate down in free fall. Why? Because water doesn't displace in free fall. When you actually accelerate it down, it does displace. It's literally that simple. Now you have Einstein admitting to that fact that there are no forces acting on a free-falling object. Again, free fall because it's free from any force. It's a free object. Where do you think the term free fall comes from? because it's free from any force. So again, these two simple proofs, the fact that there's no acceleration down and the surface of water is always level when contained and at rest, that destroys the whole globe Earth, outer space, and any other claims about the Earth that contradicts those basic facts. That the Earth is a level plane in constant motion. So concave Earths, you know, all these fucking Pac-Man Earths and all this fucking bullshit, water and air, that simple. That debunks it all. So the fact, you know, that big channels are not like hammering on this point, you know, to put this whole shit to bed, you know, that should tell you who the controlled opposition is. You know what I'm saying? Like why the fuck are you like egging this on? Like, why aren't you just sticking to the facts and hammering them down? You know what I'm saying? It's because they don't want this, you know, to move forward. They don't want this to start moving, right? Because then the globe Earth is really gonna have issues ridiculing it, you know? Because how do they ridicule it? Oh, it's a floating pizza dish in space. Like, oh, ha 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 ha. So what is gravity on the pizza dish flat Earth? Oh, they don't have an explanation. And it's like, whoa, that's a straw man. For sure, and only morons are claiming that. So the reality is that Earth is not a floating disk in space. It's a level plane in constant motion, and the full dimensions of it, what it looks like from the outside, that's unknown. So anybody trying to like straw man and make it look ridiculous by saying that it's a disc or a pizza dish or a pancake and all this bullshit, those are all just straw man. And it just shows how misinformed you are. Not only from your current belief of the globe Earth, but also from what you've heard of flat Earth. You know? So, no, nothing personal, but people that ridicule flat Earth using these straw man arguments, they literally don't know their elbow from their ass. They're literally just repeating what they've heard. No different than a parrot. Because the parrot just repeats what he hears without any critical thinking. You know, the parrot doesn't understand what he's saying. He just repeats what he hears. And that's exactly what we're witnessing now with globe earthers and motionless flat earthers. Literally just repeat what they're hearing with no logic, no reason, no nothing practical. You know, no different than a parrot, you know. So yeah, it is what it is, huh? MB, I've been listening to both Dell and William. Believed it at first. Now I know what's wrong with the argument. Can you please explain, MB, what's wrong with the demonstrations that we're showing about what's required to create buoyancy and the fact that there's no measurable force or acceleration detected in free fall? Could you please explain what the flaws in those experiments are? Oh my god. You see, he comes, Capvine, he comes at Flat Earth from a spiritual perspective. I think that's horrible, to come to Flat Earth from a spiritual perspective, because, again, the Earth is not subjective. It's not subjective. It's objective. It's reality. So to come to Flat Earth from subjectivity, you know, again, you could always change that around and understand that your subject is an objective, you know, it's an objective claim that has nothing to do with spirituality or religion, or, you know, then that's cool. But if you get stuck in spirituality once you come across this subject and you try to push it as a spiritual subject, then you're talking shit, you know, whether you're doing it deliberate or not. You're you're muddying the waters. Again, it's no different than religious people trying to muddy the waters when it comes to this subject too. You know, religion should stay out of this subject because religion is subjective. Spirituality is basically a religion. You know, for those people that don't know that, spirituality is basically a religion. You know, because it's subjective. It's your beliefs. It's your, you know, again, I like to think, yeah, we are spiritual beings here. So, you know, again, that's my personal religion, right? But I keep that to myself, you know, especially when it comes to talking about this subject. Now, if somebody asks me, like, well, what do you think, you know, this is about? Do we come from something else, right? Is there a God? And it's like, well, I acknowledge that something can come from nothing. So, yeah, there is a God, right? Something that created this. But it didn't create it from nothing, in my opinion. Again, that's just my opinion because I can't prove that. But why do I think that? Or why do I, you know, it's because humans, right? We created a Tesla, right? A car, a Tesla. You know, you could say humans created a Tesla, but they didn't create it from nothing. They used substance that already existed to manufacture and craft and engineer a Tesla. But again, you didn't create it. Humans didn't create it from nothing. It had to come from something. So this reality, it's a machine, you could say, right? The Earth. It's literally like a machine. It was, you could say it was created, again, but that doesn't mean it was created from nothing. You know, so again, it was created, in my opinion, it was engineered, well, not manufactured, because God-manufactured, right? It was God-manufactured, it was engineered, it was created using, in my opinion, what already existed. So when people are, well, how did matter come to be? I don't know. I can't think that far, you know? So, in my opinion, again, this was a creation from something that already existed. The physical, I'm talking about. The energy, the life force that powers our bodies and every mammal on Earth, and animal for that matter, insects even. What that energy is, I don't know. I guess that's the mystery of life, right? You guys got 5 minutes? You guys could do it as a group. Yeah? How many are you? Alright, so first question, do you guys trust your common sense? Yeah, you should, right? Yeah. So, I'm gonna show you, I took 3 different pictures of my water bottle, halfway filled with water, and I painted the water blue just to make it easier to see. And I want to see if you guys could tell me what the difference is between these 3 water bottles. So there's a ping pong ball in there as well, and the water's blue. So what's the difference between these 3 water bottles, 1, 2, and 3?
The way the bottle is placed.
Okay, okay. So which one is in the correct placement?
This one.
You got it, number 2. Yeah. And what would be the correct placement for this one?
Flip it upside down.
Like this?
Exactly.
You guys got it. What would be the correct placement for this one?
Like this. Turn it over.
You guys got it. Yeah, you guys do trust your common sense. So how did you guys know that was
because how it's filled.
how it's filled, right?
How it's filled. And the box tells me that it could be on either side.
Yeah,
On either side.
exactly. But the water shows you again. Because water can't. It was this one was taken like this,
Exactly.
and this one was taken like that. So it was the orientation that made them different. So you guys got it, man. All right. So the second one is even easier. So another thing about water, when it's contained and at rest, it always finds its level. So what would be your guys' definition of level when something's level?
Equal, like
Equal. Okay, that's a good one. So the one-word definition, okay, will be horizontal. Because you could have a straight line that's on a slope, but it's not level. It has to be a horizontal straight line. You know, horizontal being has to do with orientation. So water does have orientation, right?
Yeah.
So again, since we understand how water behaves and what level means, and when it's at rest, which one of these 2 represents level as we know it? A or B? A. Yeah, you guys got it. Yeah, it's pretty simple, right? Pretty obvious. So the real reason I'm doing this is because over 95% of the population, including myself and maybe you guys, have been tricked to believing this is what level means, even though we know it's this one, and water shows us that. You guys want to know how we were tricked? So, do you guys believe the Earth is a ball?
We believe it's what?
Do you guys believe the Earth is a ball?
I
A
do.
sphere?
I do.
Right, so this is an official NASA image from 2012, and they say it's an image, not a photograph, because they admit they don't take real photographs of the Earth from space as a ball. So if I was to ask you guys, why do you guys think a real photograph as a ball from space doesn't exist?
I couldn't answer that.
You couldn't answer that? So the real reason is because the Earth is not a ball. So this is basically a cartoon. So they're just showing us cartoons of the Earth as a ball, and people believe that it's reality. So their explanation is that they can't go high enough. So they say that they can't leave Earth's radiation active belt. I forgot what it's called. The radioactive belt, right? Have you guys heard of that? So that's what they say now, that they can't leave Earth's orbit. But they claim that they went to the moon in 1972. So that contradicts that claim, right? So they're telling us that their technology got worse, apparently. But the fact is that the moon landing, do you guys believe in the moon landing, by the way? Yeah, the fact is that the moon landing was literally just a movie to make people believe that this is where they live. Because back before the moon landing, a lot of people didn't believe it. So they needed something to kind of get people on board, right? To make them believe. So that's where that movie comes in. It's just a movie, basically, at the end of the day. So this will be the #1 experiment to debunk the globe, a physical measurement of the Earth. Because again, they claim to have satellites orbiting the Earth, right? So they need to know the radius of orbit. So they need to know the radius of the Earth that they're supposedly going around it. So they do tell us it's 3,959 miles, which means there has to be a curve every mile, and every mile has to increase because it's not a slope. They're claiming a curve. So in the first mile, there's an 8-inch drop. Second mile, 32 inches, and by the third mile, there should be 6 feet of curvature. So if we went out to a giant body of water, like a lake, when it's at rest, the surface is going to show us again the physics of water that it doesn't bend, because that's, you know, it defies physics basically. But they're trying to tell us that every lake on Earth is bending 6 feet in 3 miles and 66 feet in 10 miles. So when you go to a lake and it's at rest, they're trying to tell you that the surface of that lake is humpy and it's not level. So, but again, water can't do that, you know. So if I was to ask you guys, what's the #1 proof that makes you believe that the Earth is a ball?
The core.
The core? You mean the center of the Earth?
The gravity.
That makes you believe that the Earth is a ball.
The mix of both.
The mix of both, so gravity.
I have the image that the core is a ball, it's a
Right.
big ball, and then gravity of every angle of the ball is being pulled down. To
Okay, so the pulling force of gravity, right?
Right.
So if I was to ask you, what is gravity? I mean, I kind of just said it right now. If I was to ask you, what is gravity?
the force that pulls.
A force, okay. So what is a force?
Shit, I don't know how they.
So you said
define it.
one of them that they claim, pull or push.
Okay, man.
Pull or push. So it's gravity based. A force is something that creates motion, basically. So they're claiming that it's a push or a pull, but only one of those is real and can be recreated. Which one do you guys think? You think pull? It's actually push. Push. So when you move any object, even a combustion engine, like any engine in a car or anything that has motion, something else has to push it to basically create that motion reaction, right? So in order to move this bottle, I have to push it. There's no way to pull it just by having mass. So this idea of pulling objects to the ground is bullshit, and it's the Earth that's pushing up against you. So the gravity of the Earth is not a pull, it's a push. So the Earth again is pushing up against you right now. So if the Earth was a ball, how can it push up in every direction? You know, that would mean the Earth will have to be expanding. You know what I'm saying? If the Earth is pushing up against you instead. Because again, pulling forces don't exist. Have you guys heard of Einstein's theory of gravity? Yeah, right? So he basically acknowledges the fact that gravity is not a force. So I mean, do you guys have any questions for me about this subject? You guys heard of this subject before, right? You guys, of the Earth not being a ball.
Yeah.
So again, besides gravity, because again, gravity is just a theory. Is there anything else physically, a test or experiment that makes you believe that the Earth is a ball? Physically, like a physical measurement of curvature, for example.
Nah, shit, I'm not a science major.
So is it possible that we've been lied to about the Earth, or are you guys 100% convinced that it's a ball?
I mean, shit, my whole life I thought it was a ball, so I mean, I'm pretty much 90-10 on it. I feel like.
Okay, I mean, at least you're a little bit
I
open.
don't know. I mean, Saturn got rings and shit, so I mean, that's flat.
Okay, so the stars, again, I would say that's a red herring. You guys don't know what a red herring is? A red herring is a false argument. Yeah, so this is what the stars look like. They're just lights in the sky. Nobody actually knows what they are. So anybody claiming that this is anything is just bullshit, basically. So what's in the sky is just lights. Nobody knows what they are. So I mean, is there anything else? I mean, that maybe you could help me out, maybe understand your point of view of why you think it's a ball or not?
That's just what we've been talking about.
I mean, that's pretty honest, man. Here, you guys can check my channel. I have conversations with other students all the time. You guys want to take it or not? No, you guys are good. All right, man. No worries. All right, so that started off really good, but took a turn. I thought they were actually gonna be on it because they got the first one. I didn't even tell them about the water or nothing, but yeah. Yeah, that's funny. I'll see if I can get one more. If not, I'm gonna call it already. Yeah, I think like 2 of them were not even listening. I think it was only one on the left. He was the only one kind of listening. The one in the middle and one on the right, he didn't really like pay too much attention. You know? But I think I was talking too much too, low-key. I should have given him a chance to take it in, you know. But mean, it's the first time that kind of happens like that. But... So again, gravity. Like, water bends because of gravity. Like, again, like, oh my god. Like, if motionless flat earthers don't realize that you're defending the globe by claiming it's motionless, you're literally, like, if you don't realize that, you're an idiot. You know, simple as that. Because you're literally defending the idea that objects accelerate in free fall. As a motionless flat earther that preaches that, you're literally defending the globe. You're defending gravity. You're defending the idea that objects accelerate down in free fall. You're literally doing that. Like, I mean, if the controlled opposition is not supposed to do that, trick people into defending, or, you know, or to basically make their own subject look ridiculous. Isn't that what the controlled opposition is supposed to do? Is make that subject you're trying to talk about, make it look ridiculous. That's exactly what's happening with the motionless flat earth. People are just parroting this RDD bullshit and all this other stuff, electrostatics, and they're just making the whole subject look stupid. Exactly what the controlled opposition is meant to do. Literally, the controlled opposition is literally meant to make the subject look stupid, and that's what all these motionless flat earthers are doing. Again, whether deliberate or not, I don't know them. I'm not them, so I can't say, oh, 100% they're lying. Like, no. Regardless, that's irrelevant. The fact is, you're spreading misinformation, whether deliberate or not. So it's literally that simple. So a lot of people, when you see this curvature formula, right? You guys know, a lot of people, when they see this curvature formula, they're a little bit overwhelmed by it, right? Look at all the numbers, right? Look at all these numbers. You know? There's a lot of math going on here, right? Like, oh, my brain can't take it. Look at these equations. Like, oh, I don't understand these equations. So this curvature must be wrong, right? Because look at these equations and look at all these numbers. Like, it's a lot going on right here. Like, I don't understand it. So it must be bullshit, right? So for the reason that a lot of people might think that, because I'm not gonna lie, maybe in the beginning I was like that too, you know? Like, it was like, oh shit, like, that's crazy, right? Like, I still don't fully comprehend these equations, if I'm being honest, you know? But for this very reason, because I know people, and the people have, you know, questioned the validity of this curvature formula based on the radius we're given, right? A lot of people question it. That's the reason why I made my own. And it's a much simpler version of it. So this one, for example, if you guys haven't seen it, it's the one I made. So I made this one using the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And these are all the results I got. And for the first 300 miles, using this formula, which is much easier to understand, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, using this formula, the curvature is still over 99% accurate based on the radius that they're telling us for the first 300 miles. So again, we're not going to be measuring over 10 miles, so 5 miles. You know, all we need is 10 at most, right? Over 10 miles. So this formula, at 10 miles, again, if you look at 10 miles, right there, 0.012 miles, which is 66 feet in 10 miles, using this formula. 66 feet in 10 miles. Again, just to prove that this formula is accurate, we go back to this one. Look at 10 feet, right? I mean, 10 miles. How many feet? 66.68, you know, in 10 miles. So again, if you're having a hard time comprehending this one, you know, or accepting it, if you're having a hard time accepting this as the curvature rate for the Earth, then you can make your own formula using the Pythagorean theorem like this. Again, I made this myself with a calculator. So anybody can recreate this graph, basically, to show the curvature drop. Again, there's no excuses when it comes to like, oh, that curvature is wrong, therefore water does bend. Like, what? I don't trust that curvature calculator, so that means that the Earth does bend. just because I don't trust your equations and your curvature rate. And so in my head, I'm just gonna jump from that to that it is a globe. So just so that people don't do that, you know. Again, you could recreate it yourself. Given the numbers, the circumference, the radius, here it is, circumference, radius, put those numbers in where they should. The radius is R. The length you're observing is L, and you're solving for X. Once you solve for X, you subtract the radius and you're left with the drop, aka the curve. So it's literally that simple to measure for Earth's curvature, given a radius, again, which they do give us a radius because they have to, because they're supposedly going around it. So they need to give us a radius. So using this radius in the Pythagorean theorem, again, you just put the numbers in where they belong, radius, the length you're observing over, and then you calculate for X. Once you calculate for X, you subtract the radius and you're left with the drop. And that's how I got all these numbers over here. And they're all accurate. All of these numbers, they're all accurate. So again, people trying to wiggle out of the curve calculator and all this shit, like, it's not gonna happen. You can either deny reality or you can accept it for what it is. And again, these are the claims for the radius of the Earth. These are claims coming from the mainstream. Again, they could always change it up. They could say that it's double that. They say it's a radius of 8,000, right? And the radius is 8,000, so the curvature is smaller. Well, guess what? There still needs to be curvature over 10 miles, over 5 miles. Like, there's no running away from that. And the fact is that water, that once it's contained at rest here on Earth, the surface doesn't bend, especially around a fucking 3D sphere. Like, oh man, but yeah, I just wanted to highlight that point. It's crazy though, like the second conversation with the three gentlemen, or the three guys, whatever people want to refer to them as. It's crazy. They started off like you know, understanding it. So the fact that, you know, we just went downhill was just like, dang, kind of a bummer. But it is what it is. Well, it's a bummer. It's a bummer. Alright, let me just go over the comments one more time real quick. And I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Alright, I'm not gonna go too far back. Alright. Capivine, the matter at hand being using the natural flat earth truth and laws to better our experience on Earth. I don't know what you're trying to say there. Capivine, I implore you to check out Bro Sanchez. Bro Sanchez, I've seen him. He has a religion channel. Bro Sanchez is a religion channel. So I gave my opinion about what I think about religious people, and that goes to religious channels as well. Religious channels that try to lump in the Bible with flat earth or the objective nature of the earth are muddying the waters. Again, I'm not saying he's doing it deliberately. Maybe he believes all that bullshit about the Bible, you know, and he actually, you know, he thinks he's doing something right. But at the end of the day, it's bullshit. He's muddying the waters. He's literally not talking about physics, you know. And yeah, again, anybody trying to lump in religion with this subject is not doing a good service, in my opinion. Again, that's just my opinion. People could do whatever they want at the end of the day. I'm not going to go tell him not to do that, you know. But I am going to express my opinions here on my platform, you know. So. Alright, I'm just going to go to the most last ones here. Beyond belief, unfortunately, there's no measurable curvature, but plenty of sophistry inverting the geometry of vision. Will you accept that instead? Oh yeah. No, that's true, the geometry of vision. That's something that I didn't even get into, you know. Like, the fact that the last conversation, they couldn't even take in the information, that just shows how short their attention span was. You know what I'm saying? Again, nothing personal, but they had really short attention spans. Well, at least two of them. The one on the left that was actually answering, he kind of understood where I'm coming from. The other two didn't even know what the subject was about. Like, what the fuck? You know, so yeah, people's attention span is just too short nowadays. It's crazy. Like, you try to explain something to someone, but they don't have the ability to listen for more than a minute. You know, and you could blame TikTok and Instagram for that, you know? Literally, there's a reason why TikTok's being banned from other countries, is because it's literally destroying people's attention spans. Like, literally, they have like a 3-5-year-old attention span nowadays. TikTok is giving people like a 5-year-old attention span. Like, literally, bro, like, it's fucking crazy. Like, you know, and I do feel bad for the younger generation that are you know, that are growing up with this. And, you know, it's just fucked up, man. It's fucked up. You know, it just comes to show like what kind of conversations people do have, you know, with people they don't know. Because obviously with friends, you grow up and you could have a conversation, you know, but how kind of conversations do people have with other people? You know, like, there's not conversations happening anymore. That's the reality. People are not talking to new people anymore, unless they're at a nightclub or, you know, you go out to literally a place like that. But in reality, here out in the public, people don't talk to each other anymore. If you're not out with your friends, you're not going to talk to anyone. For what, right? Nobody has any social skills whatsoever anymore. I mean, I'm antisocial, so I'm part of that group. Again, I'm not just talking shit about everybody. I'm part of that group as well. When I go out to public, I don't speak to people that much because again, people's heads are just in their own little bubble. People's attention spans are too short, and I suck at small talk. I hate small talk. So that's one of the reasons why I don't even entertain it or try to avoid it. Is because I don't like small talk, you know. So, and I'm pretty sure most people are like that too. But unlike the rest, you know, I can actually entertain someone's conversation. Like, you know, I can actually listen, you know, and tell you my opinion based on what you said, you know. But a lot of people don't have that ability. And again, it just comes back to the short attention span, you know. So, all right, let me just read the last few. G-Monk, we need to conform. I mean, people less time these days. Yeah. Earthship Bear. Just for reference, motion is mentioned in the Bible before anything else in the creation story. Gen 1, 2. And the Spirit of God moved up the water. It's just saying. No, that's true. Earthship Bear. There's a lot of subliminal stuff in the Bible that is true, that can correlate to reality. But that's just where the deceivers try to flip the script, you know what I'm saying? They did change a lot with the Bible and all that stuff, because there was hints in there. I would say hints, you know, nothing that it didn't prove anything, but there was hints, and I would say these are hints, you know. So there's a good point, Earthship Bear. V. Thomas, forfeiting gummy bears. Mr. Mojo, that's why it's called TikTok. TikTok, your attention span is gone. That's a good word. TikTok, your attention span is gone. Sally, you're 100% right. Dan Jones, yeah. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping it up and see what happens soon. Thanks again for everybody that showed up. I'm not sure when I'll be going out live again. Hopefully within a week, you know, for sure within 2 weeks, but we'll see. And yeah, thanks again. See you guys on the next one. Peace.